Breaking news coming out of college basketball. Louisville lands head coach Pat Kelsey from College of Charleston. I'm joined by basketball recruiting director Rob Cassidy. Rob, give me your thoughts on the hire.
It's hard. I've learned a long time ago not to get too high or too low on a new hire, especially in this new era of college basketball when we don't even really know what the landscape of the sport is going to look like 2 years from now. So I see both sides of this. Louisville fans are a little bit let down, I think. I think they wanted a more splashy, proven name. But when you really get into it, there's some reasons to like this. First of all, he's a charismatic guy. And I think that's important in modern recruiting because a lot of modern recruiting is winning over your fan base, winning over your boosters, having them arm you with money. So he's a guy that's probably going to go in there and win that press conference, whenever it is. And when that happens, I think that's definitely a plus for him. He's won everywhere he's been at a certain level. He's won conferences. He's been on Withrop. He's won there. He's obviously won at Charleston. Now, of course, the other side of that is he's never won an NCAA tournament game. But I think if you're a Louisville fan and you want to be optimistic, what you look at is when the talent is equal, he's won. He wins his league. He wins consistently in his league, rarely loses league games in the last 2 years. Sure, he doesn't win in the NCAA tournament, but sometimes when you're out, you're outgunned in that front. He shouldn't be outgunned at Louisville and everything goes well. He should be able to recruit at a higher level. So if the talent is equal, this is a guy that's proven that he can put a competitive team on the floor and win, which is better than some of the other options they had and definitely better than the last guy they had. So, I think you look at it either way, Corey.
I do want to ask you about recruiting. I did some quick research, and I see that they don't even have a commit in 24, 25, or the 26 class. So how much of an urgency is it right now for him to hit that recruiting trail or even the transfer portal to kind of get his guys and what he wants?
They had some guys in the class, but when they fired Kenny Payne, they left, obviously. He committed, and they've lost some guys to the portal, but that's probably good. He's going to need to make over this roster. I think that in this day and age, the urgency is obviously there, but it's easier to remake. I think 4 years ago, before the portal was what it was, you'd be kind of behind the eight ball, by making the hire right now. There aren't a lot of 2024 kids left on the board. Can't recruit other transfers back then. But now, if you've got the cash, there's a wealth of experienced players in the portal, and you can go in there and you can rebuild a roster from scratch and you can compete. Look at Jerome Tang at Kansas State, a name that Louisville wanted, or some Louisville wanted 2 years ago. He came in, his roster had one player on it. He goes out, he gets Keontae George, he gets Marquise Noel out of the portal, and they go to the Elite Eight immediately after a really poor season under the last coach. So it is possible. Really, it's just about how he wants to work. It's a new day and age in recruiting, Corey, and I feel like it's longer hours recruiting in the portal, recruiting the recruiting trail. If you're constantly doing that. So if you want to work hard enough and you have the NIL money, I think you can do it. I think you can remake a team pretty quickly.
I was going to ask my final question before I let you go is football and basketball is obviously different when it comes to new head coaches, but since basketball can kind of be a little bit quicker, what's a school or what's a fan's expectations of like a head coach, like turnaround time for like a successful program? Are they hoping to, like with the transfer portal, like the next year is going to be perfect, or do they give them like 3 years to make a run?
Louisville is in a strange position here where they need to nail this hire because, they had, and, Kenny Payne is a nice guy, so I don't want to sit here and drag his name through the mud, but the results were not just poor. They were dismal. It was not. So I think it's important for them. It's important for Pat to kind of rally his fan base to come out early in the year, maybe schedule a softer non-conference, win some games, don't lose some embarrassing contests like Kenny did before him, and really kind of get some momentum going. I don't think that the Louisville fan base thinks that they're going to win the ACC next year or win the national championship. But I think if you're competitive down the stretch, you either qualify for the NCAA tournament and come close to qualify for the NCAA tournament, then the recruits and fans alike kind of see the upward trajectory, and momentum can compound in recruiting, and it can compound in college basketball quickly.
All right. Those are the couple questions that I had for you, Rob.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, it's a slam dunk hire, because I don't know. I've said hires were slam dunk hires in the past, and they tanked. And I've said I hate this hire, and they've gone well. Nobody really knows. And we'll know soon. But I'm not going to stick my neck out and start making bold proclamations about a situation that nobody really knows anything about. Too many moving parts.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's basketball recruiting director Rob Cassidy. That's the breaking news coming out of Louisville. I'm Corey Gibson. See you next time, Rob.
Thank you. Later.